Hi, this is my 40, I believe, ninth video. As you've probably seen lately, I've been releasing videos, and that's because I understand there'll be a time when I won't be able to make videos. So when I can, I should, and try to go through everything that I can speak about in regard to my targeting and the torments and the manipulation I experience. Uh, in my targeting is a mixture of a lot, right? They torture me psychologically, physically, and any other way possible. And you just gotta understand that this is what the program is about. With me, the reason why I cover my face is simple. It's just this is not about me per se, but I think my experience can help others. What I'm going through, the torment I go through, can help others, and that's why I speak because I learn a lot. I am able to understand the concept of this torment. You are gaslighted consistently here, non-stop, continuously gaslighted, manipulated, and they really want to take away reality, rationality as much as they can, to the point where now, because I know so much what they do, because they've done this to so many others that I've spoke about it. You hear a lot of similar stories when you hear testimonies of target individuals, and that's why I always encourage target individuals, especially real ones, that are going through all this disturbing, at the same time, super sophisticated, tormenting in the sense that the technology is just almost surreal, but it is real. This technology has the capability of what this target individuals are talking about. It's even though the people that per se you hear, or the perps, are people who are not the most sophisticated, or the people that you think that they are like the creme de la creme. The technology is very much sophisticated, and this is why they can employ people that you deal with, right? So with me, I've said many times, they've created this identity, right, of somebody who likes children, or like in a sexual matter, or like or young people. Like, they've been creating these disturbing things, and what they do is now they make me react to children in certain ways, all kind of children, young to older teen, to older kids, um, to stimulate me toward them and do these things, and try to make me accept these stimulations as if it's me. I know I obviously know myself, but they think that isolation, tormenting, torture is gonna make me subscribe to this. I'll never. You have your next door people just opening the door and say something, and you are. It's funny. They like to say you are our pedo, and the reason why they say that is because this BuzzFeed article came out and exposed this intelligence community to be filled with pedophiles, which is ironically enough, the the way of tormenting me is using and utilizing pedophilia. It's disgusting. It's so nasty. When you dream, they force you to dream a certain way. When you think, they make you think certain ways. When you react to things, they make you react to certain ways. It's just disgusting. But you understand that, wow, is it just ironic that the people who are here tormenting you, torturing you, and manipulating your brain in this disturbing pedophilia ways happen to have a lot of pedophiles in those agencies? I mean, it's obvious the government is involved in this. This is the government program. It's not just some rogue group. It's not possible. It doesn't make sense. But what makes sense is this is just an extension, a sophisticated version of the original human experimentation, such as the MK Ultra, and has now the 22. This version is the updated versions of this, with technology that is extremely sophisticated from DARPA and other agencies, such as But you gotta understand. Can you imagine technology in the '60s for civilians? Now imagine the technology we have now. Now imagine that in the military level, because we know that technology that we have now as civilians is old technology for the military, and so it only makes sense that this is a program led by the government, and we target individuals are just subject to these entities that experiment on people, but they utilize, and I'm not the only one. And now, the reason why I also make videos is I know my perps are watching. They want me to subscribe to and to identify to their nastiness. They want me to be like, oh no, it's me. They want me to actually believe it's me. And me making these videos is not only just to show to talk about it to other target individuals or anybody who's interested to know about these things of target individuals are going through, but it's also just like, please understand that I will never subscribe to your nonsensicalness. They use these people who are supposed to make you so irrational to make you accept these new ways of thinking and experiencing things. And then you hear the same tactics used. You hear repetitions. We are, my perps are just the funny part about it. The comical part is like they try to make themselves be like some kind of radical, progressive, feminist, avenging group. Like, it's just not. They're not what this is. They're not that. And I know that because I am. There's a certainty that the people who put me in this program are my old employers. My old employers are very big influencer in the government and on the conservative side of things. Very conservative. They are the biggest owners, or one of the biggest owners. I don't want to say the names. And so you understand that these people are just trying to kind of cover up that fact. You understand CIAs and all those agencies. They know how to sign up. They know how to create a facade. That's why you not hear. You see, there's this ad, the CIA recruitment ads. It's called if you look it up, look for CIA recruitment ad, woke recruitment ad. Maybe I should just put it in the description to understand that this intelligence community understand that this is the kind of people they want to recruit so they can create this facade. This is all BS. Of course, everybody knows. People make fun of that fact. That they're now utilizing this perhaps good concept initially, but now it's just a facade. That's why people don't respect the word woke anymore. When in reality, it was a very sincere thing. Now it's weaponized and used to cover up and do other things. It's just so sad. But the CIA obviously openly have ads to try to recruit in this woke way. Please look it up. It's called woke ads from the CIA. CIA woke ad. It was on the news. People were making fun of it because it was like, well, since when the CIA was trying to be woke? So my perps, they're really trying to create that facade. At least initially, I think now more and more they're just becoming less and less. They want to make it less obvious that they are really part of this intelligence community. But so the reason why I'm making this video to all target individuals, as they manipulate you, do all these things, they are going to try everything possible to quote unquote make you believe that this manipulations is just normal. It makes sense. We've proved that this is just you. For example, look at that. Remember, look at that. And so for me, let me just say, they've tried to find some things. Certain things are just pure manipulation, pure creations, pure narrations of what they wish was. Some others are just random, just one thing, and they try to create that as something else. I think when I was talking about gaslighting, I specifically talked about, I was in 2014, I followed somebody on Snapchat. I was in my 20s, and I looked at her, thought she was in her 20s, did not know how old she was. I never talked to this person. I followed her, never had any interaction in my life. Finding out in 2020 that when I followed her, she was not 18 yet. She was 17 years old, but she looked like a 20-some-year-old. Completely surprised by the fact that she looked way older than what she was. That was in 2014. I was in my 20s myself too. Now, this is really the only thing that they've been trying to. You see, remember in 2014, you followed her on Snapchat. Never, and when I say follow, it means I never had a single interaction with that person in my life. I never interacted with this person ever. Never seen her in person. Never had an interaction. I just follow her stories, and that's that. So now, this is the only thing they have. So now, because it's just obvious that they're just trying to find things to create and to make me accept. After this is just pure narrations, pure creations. There's one thing they've been doing lately, and this is so pathetic. It's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. It's just ridiculous. There was, I think I was on some app. I was on Snapchat or whatever. At one point, and I'm just really going through, those. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Snapchat. They give you like those profiles that they just kind of randomly just bring up to a page, and you look at those stories. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. And I think there was this person dancing, and I think they were doing the dance for TikTok or something like that. And definitely looks like she's in her early 20s, right? Early 20s, very much so. And they're like, oh, but you thought she was kind of pretty. I was like, okay, if she's pretty, good for her. Just because somebody's pretty, I'm not gonna like. If I find somebody pretty, it doesn't mean that I myself was want to be with them. And mind you, I know she's an adult. I don't know, but I'm comfortable to say she's like 20 something years old. Now I don't want to see myself, being with somebody in the 20s. But if I see somebody, it's like, oh, they're pretty, and they're in the 20s, it's good. That's that. They really want to delusion. They create these irrational ways of thinking. Do you understand? When I say this out loud, it sounds really almost on the level of spectrumism when it comes to rationality, and that's what they want to be on. And now, because this is before I was a target individual, and in 2019, it's like, you see, that is proof. You see, you thought that she was pretty, like, and I'm like, first of all, this is most likely a 20-some-year-old. Now, of course, I'm not gonna. There's no verification. I didn't go and look. Oh my gosh! It's okay. Well, good for her. So now, what they're trying to do is like, oh, you see, that's proof. You did find her pretty. You did find her pretty. She thought she was pretty. Okay, and they try to say, oh no, she's underage. Well, they're saying that because there's no way for me to confirm this. There's no way. I can't. I tried. I can't. There's no way for me to find out this person, so they can create their narration the way they want. Do you know how to put myself back in reality? I look at what a 20 to 25-year-old looks like. Because then I can put things back in perspective, because I know she's in the 20s, but they want me to imagine her as an underage. And do you know how they try to box in and make me fearful of things? Oh, they're gonna rape you, because what they're saying is they're gonna frame me, which, understanding that's gonna prove that these people are not here trying to, they're gonna frame me one way or another. One said they're gonna say that I raped some child here. Others are saying that they're gonna put child porn on my computers. These weird ways, and I'm gonna be framed, and I'm gonna be raped, and then I should accept these narrations. This is the logic they want me to have. They use these childlike people that utilize these different ways of tone of voices. It's like, oh, yeah, now we have proof, and they try to sound like the way this rationality makes sense, and they really try to use this like deep, serious, menacing voice. It's like they're gonna, yeah, now we're gonna rape you. Now we're gonna do this after making you think in this irrational way. And they think because they say it in this way, they speaking it in this way, it's pure like gaslighting. But I'm realizing, obviously, you gaslighting me. So I see them like, you guys are damn near on the spectrum. You're damn near on the spectrum. And then they go into, oh no, this TikToker, no, she was, and this TikTok person, no, she's 15 years old. They're coming up with a different age group that they want to. I know she's an adult. Matter of fact, I think I've seen her again after being a target individual, and I'm not certain. After being a target individual, I was going on Snapchat, and they start messing with me. It's like, how old is she? How old is she? And I find out, okay, this person is 24 years old. They were literally messing with me. And she's 24 years old because they're like, as early 20s, they can kind of mess with you. That's the ages where they can kind of change things to look different. And so I'm like that. So that means that if that's the same person, that person would basically would mean that she's 22 years old. When I saw her Snapchat, now I'm not 100% sure if it's true her or not. I'm not sure. And I wish there's ways I could find out, but I can't. I can't. I try. And they were also trying to say, no, but you see, you found out about Ocean. You didn't know, but it was Ocean, and it's like, well, this is not this is not oh, this is not that person. I'm gonna have to blimp that part. This is not that person, and so this is not that person, and the person that followed when she was 17 years old and finding out that she's thinking that she's an adult. And they're like, this is not. I'm like, this is not the same person. What do you mean? It doesn't make sense. The logic is stupid. But they've done that to many other people I see on Snapchat. If if they're in their 20s, they can make me imagine them to be underage. They've done it all the time. All the time. And what they also do, they're doing this in my memories. I remember going to a protein place here. There was this woman who was working there. Obviously an adult, mid-20s. Now, this woman is very, and I don't want to be graphic, but a very voluptuous woman, young woman in her 20s, 26. They were going back and forth in my brain. And it's because there's no way I can go back, hey, do you remember this person? How? There's like, oh, she's in the high school. She's obviously not. She's obvious adults. Obvious adults. Obviously, the way I interacted with her, you understand she's some adult. They messed with me to the point where it was like, oh my gosh, they truly are trying to force me to accept this. They do this on purpose onto people I can never find out. If there's somebody they can make me imagine as somebody's underage, they're gonna try to frustrate me and say, hey, you see, she's underage when she's an adult. They've done that to a 30-year-old woman. So this is the non-stop thing they do. And so they try to find ways to validate themselves using manipulations. And then using irrationality. Because the real thing, the only thing they really have to really, to really like try to gaslight me on is me in 2014 following somebody on Snapchat. In 2014, when I was in my 20s, I followed somebody who looked like she was in the 20s when she wasn't, but she really looked like she was in the 20s. It's crazy. And they have nothing. And so now they try to, okay, what can we create? What storyline can we create? Okay, this person there. Okay, he's never going to find out this person's age. We can come up with age. She's what, she's 22, 23. Let's just say that she's underage. And then that's that. I'll never figure out this person's age, ever. And I've talked to somebody. I've seen somebody on Snapchat that looked like her before, and she was 24 years old. So I'm not sure if the same, but I believe they're the same. I'm not 100%. There could be some people that just look alike, and that means that she's 22 years old. Now, they do this nonstop, and the reason why they're doing this, right? The reason why they just like continuously try to create this narrative and find ways is because what's happening today as a target individual is they make me react to kids in this disturbing. I've talked about teenagers, even babies, it's just so disturbing. They make me feel weird sensations, stimulations. And I know it's not me. I know it's something. It's just so weird. I don't know if sometimes there's some kind of brain chemical they release in my brain. I don't know if it's dopamine or whatever, but sometimes they just crank up my libido. Sometimes it's just all kind of disturbing manipulation toward toward teenage kids or babies, or like it's so sad. It's so disgusting. But you gotta be strong. You gotta understand, this is what they do. They have capability to control your body. But the other thing, the other aspect is they're gonna gaslight you. They're gonna make noise campaign. They're gonna slam the doors. They're gonna they're gonna repeat things. They're gonna do everything possible to make you accept this persona they've created. They can create identity. They implant identity in your brain. You know, earlier they did a few things that was just so so ridiculous. The narrations is just so ridiculous. Where I'll watch something, and this is a story. For example, I was watching this like a mother and her daughter playing a game. They both the daughter is an adult, the mother is not, obviously is the mother, and they were talking, and it's called, I forget the name of the show, and they drink and they talk and they drink and talk. It's very heartwarming, and I think the daughter was adopted, and they were talking about, okay, when was the most you ever been in trouble with your mother? Now the daughter now is an adult, is a grown woman, and she says, I think when I was 12, 13, I was on MySpace and uh, some guy was talking to me. My mother found that out, and and the mother was like, that's probably like a predator or whatever. And they tried to make me think, okay, when I was in high school, like every high schoolers, I had my space, and they started making me imagine me doing the same thing as this guy that was preying on this kid. Because this story, and they literally tried to make me imagine me messaging somebody and try, like, all in my mind, all creations. This is how they can rewire your brain into whatever narration they want. It has nothing to do with me. They somehow make me take on this person identity. MySpace. I was in high school when MySpace was up, and tried to create this story. They have no shame. And as I'm saying that, they're like, you're screaming, you'll be, because they talk about, to them, torture is a validation. Because they sound like they are childlike people. Now, I know bad things are going to happen to me, but I'm not going to let them live their fantasy. I'm not. I'm not. With me, they didn't know what they signed up for. You're not, and they like to say, we are at war. They are not at war. They'll never be at war. This is a human experimentation, and the fact that people are saying the same thing, that this perps, this trash, I call, are claiming, oh, we are at war. You're not at war. Can you imagine saying that to a single woman, who has children in Kansas? It's like, we are at war. You're not at war. You guys are a bunch of cowards, nasty lowlifes, trash, that will get reimbursed. I'd rather get tortured, I'd rather get framed, I'd rather get fried, grilled, whatever, than having to live my life doing what they do. It's such an indignified, degrading life. I'd rather freeze to death than deal and do the things they do. It's such an indignified low-lifeness. And they find this as winners, as like being successful. As if there's other ways. Like, of course, I'm going to experience what I'm going to experience, because this technology is going to override my thoughts. There's no winning or losing. Just be a little patient. It's going to be in my brain, and that's that. And they're like, oh, no, no, the technology is the technology. It will override anybody's brain. It will override that trash brain. It will override anybody's brain. And you just gotta be strong to understand this is what this technology is capable of doing. You will never experience life the same way. You will never be you. Ever. You will be a version of what they've created. In a sense that you experience what they've created. So that's that. You gotta be strong and understand that. So to all my target individuals, this irrationality, nonsensicalness, manipulations, stupidity, is ways to make you lose your mind and accept their stupidity. That's why they use special people. Like, for me, they use childlike individuals. Almost childlike people, because I think some others, how long can they make themselves this stupid? before they're actually, And I'm not saying they're actually stupid, but they have to make themselves this on the spectrum like individual. They have to. This is part of gaslighting. Gaslighting is to bring somebody into irrationality to make themselves doubt themselves. And so they're gonna talk about other things, diverse, to change subject, talk about how you're gonna be torture fried, and they're gonna do everything to you while you're talking about these people want me to think this way because they want you to stop thinking about it and think about how you're gonna be tortured. Be strong and don't subscribe to this nonsensicalness. You know who you are. You know what these people are trying to do. They're gonna try to come up with things and manipulate things. You don't understand that you're no longer gonna experience even your memories the same ways. They're gonna change it. They're gonna create their narratives. They're gonna manipulate things, and your brain is just gonna you're gonna experience the way they wanted you to experience it. But that's the technology at its best. So be strong. Know who you are. And understand you are lucky that you don't have to live their life. Do you know how deluded they have to make themselves be? Do you know how retarded, how on the spectrum they have to be? I'm sorry about that language, but how childlike they have to be? Or have to make themselves be? It's ridiculous. The worst is when you see a grown-ass person doing it. It's worse. Disgusting.